PS3.
PS5, the PS.
So, as a lot of you may know, I am a very passionate video game collector. And well, this year I took it upon myself to really start collecting video game consoles. And well, not just collecting any console, but just consoles that I really didn't get a chance to play growing up. I mean, I have so many options to collect. I can collect any Nintendo console. I can go for the Xbox consoles. You know, these consoles that I've really never tried or played before. You know, I really wanted to try to get my hands on those, but there was a specific console that really caught my eye this year that I haven't really known about until I really started digging up information about it this year. And that console is the backwards compatible launch PlayStation 3. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is a beast of a console. I love this thing, and as you can see, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, the Spider-Man font alone, that is so cool. This thing is so heavy. I think it's about like 11 pounds. I'm not really too sure. I'm gonna have to look that up again, but I was so lucky to get my hands on one of these devices, especially because they're kind of hard to get in working order. But we will go over all of that later on in this video.
Here we go.
Now, before we get started, I just wanted to give a personal, heartfelt message to all of our subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to J&J Gaming. And if you are new here and you started watching our videos and you enjoy them, please leave a like, subscribe to our channel, because we will be posting more regularly. Try to post every Friday. You guys are all the best, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. So like I said, I bought this PS3 off of eBay, and it immediately caught my eye because it was in such good condition. And I really don't see that a lot with the PS3s nowadays, especially a used PS3. I have a few PS3s here in the back that are different models than this one that aren't backwards compatible, but they are the fat models. It literally made it a scratch magnet. I mean, if you're just moving it around or just wiping it down with something that's not like a microfiber towel, or you know, you might have a cat like me just walking on top of the console constantly, sometimes, you know, that sort of stuff. It can over time create a lot of scratches. Now, the original PS3 that I had gotten was way back in 2012 when the Super Slim first launched, and so I was really lucky to get one of those on Christmas time, and I've had the same PS3 this whole time. But why did I even bother getting a fat PS3 then? A launch model PS3. The launch model PS3 was pretty much built to be a computer. Like, it was even used at one point to create a supercomputer, which is absolutely insane. But this model specifically really intrigued me because of its backwards compatibility. Like, yes, it's able to do a whole bunch more stuff like that, and I'm able to use it for a whole bunch of other purposes, but specifically what I really wanted from this was the backwards compatibility. The fact that I can get any PS2 game that I have on my shelf right now, any PS1 game that I have on my shelf, and then just pop it in there in the disk drive, and then it'll just start playing that game. It feels so good. Now, the specific model, which is the CECHA01, that is the one that I have. This model has a built-in Wi-Fi port in it, so I don't have to worry about having to connect solely to Ethernet. I know the CECHB model did not have the Wi-Fi, and you had to use strictly Ethernet. But still, it just shows how Sony was thinking ahead of its time, because this device was, you know, it could play Blu-ray, you could stream movies on it. It had, you know, these different card readers. They can put in like a memory drives, four USB ports. Like, are you serious? 4 USB ports. This thing is chunky and it's huge and it's very heavy, and you can see why. I mean, it's a literal powerhouse of a machine. And the fact that it came out in 2006, and to a certain point it was like the chip that was inside of it, the cell processor that's inside of these PS3s was more powerful than certain desktop CPUs at the time, is crazy. Like, that engineering that Sony's team had behind that, top notch. And well, even though the price tag was pretty hefty, and certainly still is for this device, I still truly believe that it was worth it. The CECH model that I have here, it only came with 60 gigabytes of hard drive space, but Sony made it ridiculously easy to just swap out the hard drive, and I was able to just put in a new one here, and it was just a 120 gigabyte SSD that I had lying around. And you know, even though this thing really won't use the speeds of an SSD and still use it like if it was a hard drive, I totally don't care. That was just an extra one that I had, so it really doesn't matter if you have an SSD or a hard drive and you want to swap this out. Now, a lot of these PS2 games that I really liked and I really enjoyed playing as a kid, or even these PS1 games that I never had a chance to play because I didn't own a PS1, I'm just able to just pop it in there and play it. Now, full disclosure, you are able to play PS1 games on any PS3 model. PS2, only with these certain models you're able to play them. One thing I really do appreciate is the fact that when I am playing a PS3 game, I can kind of update the graphics sort of to make it look a little bit better. I can even expand the screen instead of having it widescreen. I can make it full screen. Now, it won't stretch out all the way fully like 16:9 ratio, but it will almost get there, and I really do enjoy that fact. And now also, I don't have to use just a pesky PS2 memory card every time, but if I really do want to and just transfer my files over from my PS2 memory card over to my PS3, I can totally do that. I just need to find an adapter, but honestly, I don't have anything saved like that I would really want to move over, so it's not really that big of a deal to me. Now, there are other things I can do with the PS3. I just don't really want to do it, mainly because my PS5 can do all that sort of stuff, and there are some apps that aren't available for the PS3, and we're also starting to see that there are some things that are going to start getting eliminated from the PS3, like specifically their store is going to start getting eliminated, and then soon you're going to probably start seeing support for certain streaming applications start to leave here soon for the PS3. I recently saw that Crunchyroll stopped supporting PS3, the PS3 application for them. So it's those sort of things that I kind of, wouldn't use my PS3 for, but still the backwards compatibility stuff is amazing and I love it. Now, there is one glaring issue that I cannot stress enough. This specific model and a few other fat models have had a lot of issues with the yellow light of death. Now, that specific issue really starts to come in, especially when your console is not properly getting cooled, not properly getting enough airflow in, and it's just disgusting and dirty inside. But a lot of the times, the yellow light of death will also come in because of just general hardware failure, and we really don't know a lot about it still. And and it's crazy because it's been 16 years since the launch of the PlayStation, and we still don't truly know what the issues are with the yellow light of death. There are many ways to kind of diagnose your PS3 when it comes to the yellow light of death, and one of the more common ways I've seen about fixing yellow light of death has just been removing the capacitors, removing the NEC token capacitors. There's actually been a lot of talk about those being the cause of yellow light of death. I've seen this one person fix the yellow light of death just by delitting the CPU in the RSA. There's many ways to fix yellow light of death, but then that's the issue, is that you can try all these methods and then sometimes it just won't fix it. Now, that's what this PS3 had when it came in, and I was so sad because I got it for so cheap, and then I found out I had yellow light of death, and I was like, oh, that's why it sold so cheap. But thankfully I was able to fix it, and it works like a charm now, and it runs really quiet. Now, I know a lot of times when I play more graphically intensive games, it can be louder, but it's not something that I'm really like that I really care about right now. What I care about really is just those games, baby, those games. Now, yes, PS2 and PS1 are a thing, but obviously this thing can play PS3 games too, and it plays it great. I mean, I don't see any issues playing a lot of very good games on this machine. I mean, a good example of how much the games have just changed from the PS3 is just, you can just look at Uncharted 1. It came out like around the time when the PS3 first came out, and then Look at Uncharted 3. It came out at the tail end of the PS3, and it just looked completely different. And it just really shows that, you know, once these developers found out how to properly use the PS3's architecture, oh man, they used it, and they used that thing, man. They used everything that they could out of the PS3, and then we saw Naughty Dog make The Last of Us, and then we saw Sony Santa Monica make God of War 3, God of War Ascension. We saw some really amazing, beautiful looking games, and then a lot of them just, you know, 1080p. Like, these are full HD games on the PS3. Like yeah, given they're not running their best, but still, like, that is awesome. And to be honest, I haven't really been collecting that much for the PS3. I've really been collecting more for the 360, just because I found it more easier to collect there, and games run, like, a lot of third-party games ran so much better there, so I'd much rather have the collection there built up. But now that I have this backwards compatible PS3, I honestly just feel like putting in, you know, more time on it, and then just sinking in more games in there, you know, growing my trophy list out, you know, really just testing this thing and just giving it all she's got. And wow, I love this device. And now this PS3 sits there right next to my main consoles, and it's hooked up to my TV, and it just really shows how much I use this thing, because I really my main drivers that I have hooked up to my TV are the main things that I use, like, you know, pretty much very frequently. Not that I use the, you know, the PS5 and the Series X, you know, every day, but, you know, the fact that I can use them all, like, whenever I want to now on the PS3, like, especially since with the PS3 I can play like up to 3 generations of games there, and then on the PS5 I play PS4 and PS5 games. It's like I have the perfect combination of, you know, games to play, and it's all between these two consoles. And I've had this console for about, I want to say, 3 months now, and it has not given me any issues since I fully fixed it, and since I've taken out the yellow light of death, it's never come back on. And like I said, it's been running really quiet. It is a heat machine. This thing will keep your house warm. I have this sort of in my living room area, so I really don't experience that heat coming up. But, you know, if I get lazy and I don't want to get out of my room, or I don't want to play here in the living room, I bring it over there to my room, and man, it heats up my room. I'm gonna have to definitely use this as like my personal heater or something come wintertime, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, that has been my experience with the backwards compatible PS3 in 2022, and oh my gosh, I absolutely love this device. Even though fixing it was a pain at first, it has been so amazing to me now, and the results absolutely spoke for themselves. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Please leave a comment, like, share this video, and subscribe to J&J Gaming if you haven't done so. What do you guys think about the PS3? Do you guys think it's still worth it in 2022? Do you guys think that it's even something that you would even get yourself if you don't have a PS3? Or just let me know if you've even had a PS3 before, or if you played some of these games. Personally, I think it is an atrocity that there are some games here still stuck on the PS3 system that need to be moved up to modern day systems. And I'm talking to you, Metal Gear Solid 4.
PS